Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Digital Underground, on this wacky Wednesday, April 24th, 2024, and this show starts right now. What's good, people? It is Goal MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he shows up, great. If we don't, then we will probably see him tomorrow for a very special edition of TXN Sports World, as we'll be covering, recapping a whole bunch of stuff. Celtics chat, Bruins beat, Ranger roundup, and then we will have, and then that will be it. So, all right. So with that said, we'll start off. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, we got AEW Dynasty. We got NXT Spring Break-In Part 1. And we also got AEW Dynamite. That was at the Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida here tonight. So with that said, we're going to start off with Dynasty that went down on Sunday night. And here's how the breakdown went. So we did start out with a couple of pre-show fights. Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. Trent Beretta wins in 8 minutes. Then we had Shibata and Orange Cassidy versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. It was Shibata and Cassidy winning at 12:40. Then in the main event for the winners takes all unification of the AEW Trios title and the Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team Championship. Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team Champions, the Bullet Club Gold, went up against the AEW Trios Champions. The Acclaim. Bullet Club Gold won it all. They win the AEW World Tag Team, Trios Tag Team titles, winning it in 14 minutes and 45 seconds. We started the main card off with Okada versus Pac for the Continental Championship. Okada winning the match, 21 minutes and 55 seconds. Banger of a start. Unbelievable matchup. Amazing fight, to say the very least. And it was an incredible match. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Second best fight of the night, because there's one match that's even better than this one. They absolutely did a quick pace. It was a fast moving, great action from beginning to end. And Okada successfully defends the title. No big surprise there, but Pac gave him everything and then some. Anthony Florio, come on in. It is yours. Give me a quick thought. Okada successfully defends the Continental Championship.
More methodically paced than anything else on the card to this point. The match took all of its nearly 30 minutes and maximized every one of them. This was the best presentation of Okada to this point because it did not include the Young Bucks nonsense, while Pac really stood out here, earning chance of he's our you-know-what after the bell. Great way to kick off a card that figures to have more than a few of these highly rated matchups. 4.5 to 4.75 of a star for me. Second best fight of the night. Set me up for the next match, MF, if you would.
Trios tag team fight, six-man tag team fight. House of Black versus Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. And the House of Black wins it in 17 minutes and 45 seconds.
4 stars, fun, action-packed trios match that highlighted everyone, but never over-delivered the money matchup between Adam Copeland and Malachi Black, ensuring there will be interest in those two eventually clashing for the TNT Championship. This is about 3.75, teetering on 4 stars. Another one of the big fights of the night here. So, right outcome. So, no doubt about it. MF, Malachi Black, Adam Copeland, definitely on a collision course for that TNT title.
Yeah, 3.5 to 3.75. That's my rating for the match. Good battle, good fight. I enjoyed it. Now we'll just move on. Willow Nightingale versus Julia Hart for the TBS title. This was House Rules. The House Rules stipulation was that Sky Blue and Chris Statlander could not be at ringside. They were barred from ringside. So we had basically a straight up one-on-one. Stokey Hathaway was still there. And the winner of the bout in 6 minutes and new TBS champion Willow Nightingale. All right. To me, honestly, I get why they did it because now we know what's going to happen next. Because it now opens the door for the rivalry Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Moné. It looks like that's where they're going to go. That looks like that's the direction that AEW is going to go. They're throwing this matchup at us, but my heart breaks for Julia Hart. I don't think she got a fair shake as TBS champion. I don't think that. I kind of feel like Willow, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Willow Nightingale. I love her gimmick. I love her style. I don't think this was the right decision. By default, it is worst fight of the night. Even though there was nothing bad about it, it was a fun little sprint. I give this about 2.5 stars, but honestly, I feel like AEW might have dropped the ball here. I felt like Julia Hart should have gone over, just personal opinion, but I know why they did it. Because of the fact that they're baking off the rivalry of Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale stemming back from New Japan, where a lot of people are blaming Willow for injury Mercedes Moné at a live event in San Jose when New Japan came over here, and that led to Willow Nightingale becoming at the time the IWGP Women's Champion. Now it looks like history is about to repeat itself, where now this time around the TBS title will be on the line, and we're getting Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné sometime down the line. Anthony, you did call this, so I can't be too mad about it. You did call for Willow to win the title. Honestly, just me personally, wrong decision.
Agreed. But I just had this feeling that that they were going to put it on Willow so they could set it up for her and Mercedes to battle, and I'm not surprised I'm right. 2.5 stars for me. It was a match that was good, but failed to live up to some of Julia Hart's other defenses. After the match, Mercedes Moné predictably made her presence felt and stared down Willow with their much anticipated rematch official for May 26th, Memorial Day weekend in Las Vegas at Double or Nothing. So there you have it. So 2.5 stars by default, the worst fight of the night. So with that being said, MF, let's move on to the next match.
Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. Roderick Strong wins the match. He's still the international champion at 17 minutes and 40 seconds.
3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. The match was quite good, especially if you are into strikes and counters. Does it appeal to the larger fan base? No, as we saw in the reaction from the fans, but it was a really well executed match that saw the right guy go over. So there isn't much more for me to add on to this. So 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for me. So MF, your thoughts?
I'll go 3.5. I feel like that's the right rating. It was a good matchup. I'm not overly angry about the fight. I think they could have been better in certain areas, but Roderick Strong is the right decision. No doubt about it. We'll just move on. Next up, we had was Chris Jericho go one-on-one with Hook for the FTW title. Chris Jericho winning the match in 16 minutes and 35 seconds. The new FTW champion. All right. I get why this happened, but I think a lot of people said it. This was unnecessary. Jericho did not need to go over here. I'm sorry, he didn't. This was the wrong decision, the wrong call. A lot of fans poo-pooed over this fight, and a lot of people were really pissed that Jericho won the title. I can say maybe 3.5 stars is my rating for the match. It was a fine match. There's nothing wrong with the match. It's just, again, wrong outcome, wrong decision, wrong winner. That's the biggest takeaway from that match. There's nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
What'd you give it?
About 3 to 3.5.
That's about right. Match was fine enough for what it was, but in no way anything more or better than that. So it is 3 to 3.5 stars. But yeah, MF. I had a feeling they were going to put Jericho over here, even though this is another nonsensical decision here. Considering the FTW championship is I feel it's beneath Chris Jericho, but they gave it to him anyway. So, I mean, I know he's gotten a lot of flack recently. I know the fans have turned on him, obviously, because of the whole incident. We already know what that's about. So, and I know and that incident is the reason why, in many fans' eyes, that we cannot trust Chris Jericho anymore. He proved to us with that incident that he cannot be trusted, and it is going to be a long time before we even think about trusting him again. He's going to have to prove it to us.
I don't even think I think I don't even think whatever he can do, I don't think people are going to give him that chance. Because if you really think about it, honestly, he's been like, I mean, in the last few months, he's been crucified by the IWC, the CWC, whatever you want to call it, the fan bases out there, the marks, whatever. He's been guilty of association, and and especially with more and more of these allegations coming out, it's not like it's getting more and more and more difficult to support Chris Jericho. And I mean, you could even make an argument that I don't think I don't think the goodwill is there anymore for this man. I think he kind of burned that bridge, and I honestly don't feel like he's going to get another opportunity here. I think, like you said, yeah, but I mean,
damn shame, because he was so over, man. I mean, one of the most over guys in the history of the business, and done so much for the business, and it's a damn shame that this happened, and
his credibility got shot. And after that, the minute your credibility gets shot, and
we ain't
then
trusting you ever again, big boy. We ain't trusting you ever again.
And that's the thing. Whenever your credibility gets shot, and then when more and more stuff gets leaked out like this, and there's certain points where you just have to say enough is enough, and at that point, it's just like I said, a lot of people are developing their own opinions. A lot of people are thinking, there are some people that feel like he's getting an unfortunate break, that he's getting that, you can say that maybe some of the stuff that's happening is not, wait until all the information comes out. But the thing is there's more and more evidence that's looking more and more worse for Jericho each and every day. It gets to a point where, I'm sorry, enough is enough.
Exactly. So, so with that being said, 3 to 3.5. We got a lot more to get into, so let's continue on.
Well, there's a lot. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Well, we have a women's title match first.
Huh?
Women's title.
Yeah, that's right. Timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. Timeless one wins it 15-10. And I believe this goes to you, Anthony Florio, so it's yours.
Couldn't wait to move on, could you, MF?
Well, I mean,
no women's title match. No.
Well, when you say when the next fight that we got is the fight of the year, I mean, yeah, you could understand why.
I had to do the legendary running gag between our two boys who are up there right now. That being Regis and Alex, of course. So
yeah,
Mr. Alex Trebek and Regis Philbin, that legendary Celebrity Jeopardy moment that MF and I will take with us for the rest of our lives. But anyways, that in case that's where you were wondering why I did that. But anyways, 15-10. So that would constitute about 3.5 stars. It was a strong match with some great fire from Thunder Rosa, particularly as she was trapped in the Texas Cloverleaf. Toni Storm continues to thrive in this role and remains an excellent choice to serve as the face of the women's division in AEW. So the one, I mean, I know I'm refraining from my after observations, but you notice Thunder Rosa removed a mask, revealing that she did not have her customary face paint on. A nod to the angle that saw Toni Storm wipe it off her face. And I'll tell you what, she's got a nice face. I gotta tell you, she's very easy on the eyes.
Oh, she's a beautiful gal. She's a beautiful gal.
Absolutely.
La Mea is very beautiful. Yes.
Muy caliente. So
yes.
That's all I can say. So but anywho, 3.5 stars. I'm not surprised with the outcome, and we'll wait and see what's next for the timeless one. So, MF, your thoughts before we get into the match of the year?
Yeah, no, this was about 3 stars. I thought it was a fine match. Timeless One still controls AEW in the women's division, and I don't think there's much for us to say. It was a fine matchup. It was a great battle. There's really nothing more to add, as it was Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. Will Ospreay winning the match in 32 minutes and 40 seconds. There's not much for me to say here. 5-star plus, fight of the night, fight of the year, now in not only AEW's fight of the year, but the fight of the year for 2024. This was a masterclass by everybody involved. Danielson and Ospreay went absolutely phenomenal. It was an unbelievable fight, an unbelievable matchup. There was a scary moment at the end where basically Will Ospreay nailed Bryan Danielson with the Tiger Driver 97, the most dangerous move in professional wrestling. Will Ospreay has already vowed in the media scrum that he will never do that move ever again. He's retiring it. He feels so bad that he injured Bryan Danielson with that move that he's already sworn to everybody, including Tony Khan, he's never doing that move again. He said he's taking it out of his arsenal. And thank God for that. It is a dangerous move. The Tiger Driver 97 is a vicious move. And Danielson did not deserve that outcome, that fate. It was an unbelievable match. It is 5 stars and beyond. Like I said, it was one of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen. And AEW has elevated their game yet again. For all the negativity, for all the bull crap that they've been pulling, especially in the last few weeks with the reveal of the CM Punk footage and everything else, and the black eye that they got, without a doubt, mea culpa, everything got washed over. Now we're really looking at AEW in such a different light now, especially after this match. Basically, if there was ever a time where this wrestling company deserves the credibility and the respect and the flowers and the love, this was it. They deserve it all. They get it all. We've been very critical on this program about AEW. I got nothing bad to say about this. This was absolutely phenomenal, amazing. Every superlative, every word in the book that has been positive and nothing but love. You deserve it, gentlemen. Congratulations. You guys got my vote for the fight of the year, and this was incredible. Nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo, 5 stars and beyond. Fight of the night, fight of the year. It's yours.
When you take arguably the best wrestler of this generation and book him against one of the best to ever do it, expectations for such a match are understandably sky high. Sunday night in St. Louis, a town rich in wrestling history, Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson stared down lofty expectations and delivered the match of the year that exceeded them. A war of attrition saw Ospreay and Danielson stare each other down late, each launching themselves out of their respective corners. The aerial assassin got the best of the American Dragon, laying him out. A Tiger Driver followed, apparently injuring Danielson along the way, before Ospreay delivered Hidden Blade for the pinfall victory. Ospreay checked on Danielson after the match, continuing the story that he cares too much about his opponents and has too much respect to be part of the hated Don Callis family. The match was extraordinary. The crowd was red hot. Both men proved their greatness, and the result was exactly what everyone expected, an instant classic. Ospreay caught a kick to the ribs that appeared to hobble him during the match. Danielson targeted the elbow of Ospreay, hoping to prevent him from using the Hidden Blade. The American Dragon delivered a picture-perfect Tiger suplex from the top rope. 5-star classic, absolutely. You know Meltzer's going to overrate it. You know how he is.
Oh, yeah. He's going to go like 6 or 7 for this.
Yeah.
He was probably... No, and I apologize for all the young right now. I'm not, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. I'll mind my P's and Q's. I'm going to try to keep this as PG as possible, but you know what I was about to say. You know what I was about to say, Florio.
I think I do.
But, yeah.
But anyways, it's a 5-star classic and beyond. It is the match of the year, and good luck to any other match in any other wrestling company to try to top that. I know there's going to be a lot of great matches. I mean, we still have another 8 months or so of this year to go, and just think of all the exciting matches that we still have yet to witness across all promotions. So yeah, good luck to any other promotion to try to top that. You're not. If you're going to top that, the only way you're going to top that is by taking a village and, of course, putting in a Herculean effort of Herculean efforts. Good luck. 5 stars, fight of the night. It's the match of the year for 2024 thus far. And now we move on. We got to crown some new tag team champions, MF, and what a way to do it in a ladder match. Oh,
yes,
baby.
Yes, indeed. The Young Bucks versus FTR. Young Bucks wins it all in 21 minutes and 35 seconds. Basically, it looked like FTR had it as Dax Harwood went up the ladder. Looks like he was going to get it. Got pulled off the ladder by some random fan. That wasn't a random fan. It was Jack Perry, the scapegoat. Matthew Jackson, in a stunned disbelief, looked at it, just unbelievably could not believe his eyes, seeing that it was Jack Perry, the scapegoat himself, climbs up the ladder and nabs the belt. He won it, pulls it down, and thus making him and Nicholas the brand new AEW World Tag Team Champions, much to the surprise of no one. However, Jack Perry's appearance was surprising. Well, until we found out that he actually was in the area and that got leaked out, and that there was also talk of him possibly coming back either at Dynamite or at AEW or at the AEW show. So nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
You said it was 22-35?
21-35.
21-35. 4.5 stars. The Young Bucks became the first 3-time tag team champions in AEW history Sunday night, capitalizing on Jack Perry's shocking return to defeat FTR in a wild, chaotic ladder match full of jaw-dropping spots which had fans verbally wishing safety on the competitors. Perry's return, staged as a fan run-in and treated as one as he was escorted out of the arena by security, directly set up the finish, suggesting there may be some loose partnership between the EVPs and the self-proclaimed scapegoat. The fourth match in the series between the Bucks and FTR was unlike any of the three that preceded it, but still involved several callbacks and moments that tied them together. Was there more to accomplish with FTR as champions? Potentially, but it felt relatively obvious from the moment the tournament was announced to crown new champions that the Bucks were going to take the straps, and they did. Especially after Revolution, when Tony Khan requested they do the honor for Sting in his last match, and they obviously were going to give him the win back, and no surprise they did. So excellent ladder match, 4.5 stars, another one of the fights of the night for sure. So MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 4.5 stars. Like you said, it was a fine match. It definitely was very dangerous, to say the very least. The Jack Perry reveal now kind of makes everything more sense. Especially after AEW took what happened, and now you saw what happened there. So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. We'll definitely see how it played out. But at the end, yeah, I don't know what to even say. It just was pretty interesting to watch. So, really nothing more to add. And now we go into the main event. Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe. AEW World Title on the line. Swerve Strickland, the new AEW World Champion, in 18 minutes even. We had it. We called it. We were hoping for the moment, and we got it. Brand new champion, history made, unprecedented crowning. I know Flair was waiting for those words. It is exactly what it was. 3.5 main event, very good body of work, very good action. And I'm so happy that we got the crowning of a new champion. It's been a long time coming. Swerve should have gotten it a few months back, didn't get it. They finally pulled the trigger and crowns him as the first African-American AEW World Champion in the history of the promotion, and could not have been a more fitting end to what was undoubtedly an incredible dynasty. So, Anthony Florio, it is yours.
4 to 4.25 stars. Swerve Strickland became the first Black AEW World Heavyweight Champion Sunday night, defeating Samoa Joe in the main event of Dynasty and ushering in a new era for the company. The historic moment came after a physical bout that saw Joe attempt to overwhelm and exhaust Swerve, only for the challenger to weather the storm, drive Joe into the mat, and deliver the second top rope double stomp of the bout to secure the win and the title. The fans in St. Louis erupted for Strickland, adding to the moment and ensuring that everyone involved knew the result was the right one. Joe, a consummate professional, rolled out of the ring and headed up the ramp, allowing the new champion to have the spotlight. Well-deserved spotlight given the work he put in to come back from the doldrums of the mid-card and evolve himself into a world title-worthy competitor. Crowd was overwhelmingly behind Strickland, carrying over the Swerve's House chants that started all the way back in the pre-show. And Prince Nana bestowed upon Strickland a robe previously worn by the late Jimmy Rave, one of the manager's clients in the original Ring of Honor. And what else is there for me to say? 4 to 4.25 stars. Congratulations, Swerve Strickland. Special moment indeed. And I don't know what else there is to say, except let me get into the overall review, and I'll say it like this. On paper, Dynasty was one of the best cards in AEW history. In execution, Dynasty had one of the best cards in AEW history. Great from the opening bell of Okada versus Pac all the way up through the main event. It featured an array of styles, ensuring no one match felt like the next. A superb outing from Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, a chaotic ladder match, and the emotion-fueled main event helped it achieve its goal of living up to lofty expectations. Whether AEW can build on the momentum remains to be seen. The company has had many great pay-per-view offerings before, only to fall back into the same booking traps. This is a 9, teetering on 9.5 out of 10. Excellent show. It's definitely up there when it comes to early candidates for a pay-per-view of the year when we do our year-end awards at the end of the year. So not much more for me to say. It's around the 9 to 9.5 threshold. So MF, your thoughts, and then we'll move on to night one of Spring Breaking. That was just as historic.
Yeah, no. I'll go 9. I thought it was an incredible show. As far as being pay-per-view of the year, man, it's neck and neck now because I think WrestleMania definitely is in the mix. I mean, this year's WrestleMania had to be one of the best WrestleManias we've ever seen in a number of years, and universally praised. Especially night 2 was even more praised than night 1. But if you think about it as a whole, WrestleMania is right there, and AEW Dynasty, they actually gave them that chance and said, "All right, you want to challenge it? This is the challenge, and who knows how this plays." But yeah, I mean, this was pretty damn good. So there's really nothing more to say here. We're just gonna move on. It's time for NXT Spring Breaking, and we started out with a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Title triple threat. Roxanne Perez, Tatum Paxley, Lara Valkyria, and it was Roxanne Perez winning it all in 12 minutes and 4 seconds. This was a very good match, and I gotta say it, the closing part of this match is the must watch. What a finish this match was. The match had its good details. All 3 ladies were amazing. The body of work was incredible. Everything was going absolutely crazy. And then the finish was absolutely like you could not even script a better finish. This had so much excitement, so much a high intensity, especially towards the end. That like maybe the final 3 minutes of this match, of this 12-minute fight, was absolutely phenomenal. Roxanne goes through, she wins the match, which unfortunately, if anybody was hoping to see Roxanne Perez go to the main roster, that is probably now out of the question. I don't think Roxanne is going to Raw or SmackDown. I think she's going to stay in NXT, and that is that. And quite frankly, honestly, I think she needs a little more time. Not yet, not the time for her to go. Maybe either in the summer after SummerSlam, or maybe next year she can come up to the main roster. It was good to give her that little taste of it at the night after Mania, but honestly, she still needs to hone her craft as the heel. But this match here was without a doubt a shining star moment for her. 3.5 to 4 is my rating. Anthony, it's yours.
3.5 to 3 3/4. This was a great bout to open the show, and it showcased all 3 women. In particular, it was a big step-up moment for Tatum Paxley, who looked like she belonged throughout. In fact, the crowd seemed most invested in the upset, and the booking at the end sold that Paxley was far closer to the title than anyone could have expected. Like MF said, assuming the Prodigy sticks around post-draft, Roxanne Perez versus Tatum Paxley is a match that WWE must run, finally giving the latter a chance to show what she can do one-on-one with top talent. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Excellent match to start it off. So with that being said, MF, let's move on to the next match.
All right, next up, 6-man tag team fight, as it was the family going up against the No Quarters Catch Crew, and it was the family, Luca Crucifino, Channing Stacks and Lorenzo, and the Don, Tony D'Angelo, with the Gabagool, winning the match in 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Oh, that was awesome. Anyways, 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5. The family and No Quarter Catch crew worked this like their careers depended on it here. This bout moved constantly and highlighted the trio's chemistry of Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne. Even though it was the best the heels have looked, the family still outmatched them move for move. The Don is still a main event player in the ring, while Channing Stacks Lorenzo looks great every time out, and Luca Crucifino has matched their energy well early on. With this win, I smell a championship committee moment. Tony D'Angelo should get the next shot at the Heritage Cup, though it is hard to imagine the Don can afford to lose at this stage during his singles run. So that's really all I can say on this. So at least 3.25, teetering on 3.5. MF, like I said, I smell a championship committee moment. I think we have our next challenger for the Heritage Cup.
Yeah, true. I can see that too, no doubt. I could say 3.25, 3.5. I mean, you're right. I thought they did a really good job with it. So we'll move right on along. It was Fallon Henley versus Jada Parker. Jada Parker winning the match in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I will openly admit this. Jada Parker had now a monumental moment. When you knock off the likes of Fallon Henley and to win it the way she did, this is a moment that fans actually notice. And, you know, surprisingly, you could say even begrudgingly, you got to start noticing Jada Parker as a possible impact player down the line. She does need some seasoning. She still needs to work. But what I've been noticing, what I'm liking about her, is that she is starting to develop into her own. With the crew that she's hanging with, you know, I kind of feel like right now, she is developing herself into a major star, and I can see it. I see very big things for Jada Parker. At first, you're thinking, nah, not really, okay. But now, especially after last night, I'm starting to notice, and I'm starting to say, hey, we might need to put some more eyes on this girl because she is starting. I'm starting to turn more and more in on a good favor for Jada Parker. She might become the breakout star for 2024. If she keeps this up, I'm gonna call it right now, Anthony Florio. She might be my breakout star for 2024. Jada Parker, because of what she's doing. Now, I don't know if that means that she's gonna be NXT Women's Champion. I don't think she's there. But I could definitely see her in about a year or so fighting for that title. Or maybe, just maybe, she might be the one that could become the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion, because that belt will be introduced very, very soon. Florio, it's yours.
All right. I do have to give some constructive criticism here. It was a 2.5-star match. NXT's refusal to push Fallon Henley is growing concerning. With the draft likely to call up multiple talented women, she will be one of the top remaining female wrestlers in NXT. With all due respect, she should not be losing clean to Jada Parker. While Jada Parker is growing popular with fans, including MF, she has a long way to go in the ring, and it's getting a big push too fast. This match was all Fallon Henley, and it should have continued to build her as the favorite to win the NXT Women's North American Championship. Unless there is a drastic plan for Henley soon, whether it's winning gold or even turning heel, she is being wasted on a brand that does not see her value. I'm sorry, but I got to be the man who tells it like it is. So, great win for Jada Parker, absolutely. Biggest win of her career to date. Maybe could lead to some bigger wins down the line. You never know, but we'll see what happens. But for right now, this was a 2.5-star match. So, there isn't much more for me to say. So, MF, I don't know if we're going to talk about the segment or the next match or whatever you want to talk
Now we're
about.
going to go right into the next fight. It was the Beach Brawl. Blair Davenport versus Sol Ruca, and Sol Ruca winning the match in 10 minutes and 29 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
3.25 stars here. Blair Davenport unleashed the anger of Sol Ruca, who looked very comfortable laying in her shots on her rival. Sol Ruca caught Blair Davenport with a springboard soul snatcher to win. While the props at ringside got too silly in moments, this was a solid battle that showed Ruca's major upside as a performer. She can execute big, especially with a veteran opponent. The right woman won, as Ruca should be gearing up for a major climb in the NXT rankings after the draft. She has to be a solid favorite to become the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. Blair Davenport's NXT run should be over from here. She has lost every big rivalry and is good enough to become a mid-card role player on the main roster immediately. This was about 3 to 3.25. Sleeper fight of the night. I didn't really have any overly high hopes for this, but they proved me wrong. Good for them. Well, then again, Blair Davenport, we know her body of work, so I was a little iffy about Sol Ruca. She didn't. I mean, I thought she was kind of on the greener side, but she's getting there.
She's getting better. Getting better. She's almost there. But I'll tell you this: the more she starts working and the more she gets better competition, she's starting to shine, and I'm liking it. Yes, she definitely can be the favorite to become the North American champion. No doubt about that. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Other than that,
so you can move on.
I'll go 3. I'll go 3 stars. I'll say that's the right outcome. Nothing more to say. Next up we had was Baron Corbin versus Lexis King. Lexis King winning the match in 5:38. Perfect cool down fight. Unfortunately, worst fight of the night. There was nothing bad about it. It was a nice little sprint, but it was slow and plotty in certain areas. It's only a 2-star bout. Anthony, it's yours.
2 to 2.5. While it was more solid than outstanding, this was by far the best match of Lexis King's NXT career so far. Though Baron Corbin is always reliable, he has showed that time and again in this return run with the Gold brand. In most situations, King should not be picking up a win over someone at Corbin's level. However, this feels like an unofficial farewell for the former Lone Wolf, who is ready to head back to Raw or SmackDown. He put over an NXT heel who will need to step up this year and take this win as far as it can carry him. Is King ready? He has not shown it to me yet, but NXT will give him every chance. I'm going to give this 2.25 to 2.5. So there isn't much more to say except MF. We have ourselves a main event that had the biggest big fight feel. It had a premium live event pay-per-view type feel on free television.
Yes, it did. It was the NXT title on the line, as it was the champion, the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams, winner of the bout, 11 minutes and 56 seconds, and new NXT champion, Trick Williams. He wins it all. He wins the title. And the thing was, if Trick did not win this title, he was done. He was gone from NXT. There was a lot of debate on this one, because there are some that it was hoping that he did go to the main roster because they think he would be a megastar on the main roster. Some felt like NXT, that he should remain in NXT because he is that good. He's been that amazing. And that he still needs a little bit of work, even though he is the most over guy in NXT and is one of the biggest names right now. They decided to put the belt on him. Ilya Dragunov, on the behalf of myself and Anthony Florio, thank you for everything you've done in NXT, and we cannot wait to see you on the main roster when you will most likely be drafted either on Friday night or Monday night, but we are sure, we truly believe you are definitely heading to the main roster. So, unbelievable matchup, great main event, 3.5 to 3.75 of a star, history being made, unprecedented crowning, Trick Williams, the new NXT champion. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
And I understand you'll be as I see in the title here, you're going to be explaining the rules of the WWE draft in a short.
Yes.
So, all right. So, because I figured you brought it up, I figure I may as well address it. But anyways, well, I got to do it. Whoop that trick. That's right. Oh yeah. I mean, I can't do it any better than the Bookman can. But man, I mean, nothing more for me to say is that what? Oh yeah, man. Oh, Booker was unbelievable. That's all I can say on that. But all right. All kidding aside, this was the fight of the night for me. This was 4 stars, teetering on 4.25. Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams went to war for the last time. This time, Trick would not be denied. In a mirror of their Vengeance Day match, the end saw them collide in the center of the ring, but it was the Trick knee that sealed it this time. In unsurprising news, this bout was electric. Trick and Dragunov have always clicked. This was a little rushed in comparison to their Vengeance Day war, but the two maximized their minutes. There was little time to sell, but the two hit all their big spots to send the crowd into a frenzy. It lived up to its promise as a true passing of the torch moment. NXT did everything to sell this as one of its most important matches. In particular, everyone sold this as Trick's moment, the chance to prove he's ready to run. While Trick completed his initial journey, he will need to prove he can sustain his success without one of the best wrestlers in the world today on the other side. Dragunov will now likely head to Raw or SmackDown in the draft, and he should become an immediate title contender. He has as high a ceiling as his longtime rival Gunther, who may soon be a world champion. Throughout the night, WWE stars made their predictions for this main event. Diamond Mine and New Catch Republic were in the crowd to watch. Johnny Gargano came to Trick's locker room and gave him a final pep talk ahead of his biggest match. Sarah Schreiber interviewed Ilya Dragunov while Byron Saxton spoke to Trick just before the main event. And World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest wished the champ good luck. Trick and Dragunov slapped hands and then hugged before battering each other with forearms to the head. The challenger pulled out an H-bomb and torpedoed Moscow against the champion for a near fall. Trick sent Dragunov through the announce table with a bookend. Dragunov hit 2 super H-bombs, but Trick kicked out of both. And then afterward, Dragunov handed the championship to Trick and hugged him, a la Hulk Hogan in The Ultimate Warrior, a la WrestleMania 6. 4 to 4.25 stars. Incredible main event. MF, have you ever seen a more electric atmosphere the minute Trick won the title?
No, I mean, it was one of the loudest reactions. Actually, somebody who was actually fortunate enough was actually inside, and he described it. He said that last night it was deafening. He said you could actually see the building shaking when Trick Williams won the title. It is without a doubt, in many people's eyes, the loudest reaction that the Capitol Wrestling Center has had in its entire NXT run. They said it actually would rival the crowd noise that they had at Full Sail University. That's how crazy this crowd went when history was made last night with Trick Williams becoming the NXT champion. So, yeah, it's incredible what this man has created or what this man has done now as the champion. So, there's really nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, give me your final thoughts and we'll get ready for Dynamite.
The fallout from AEW Dynasty. Yes, indeed. So, all right. I know ever since this whole 2.0 thing started, we've been overly critical. Nobody more so than myself and even Mr. NXT himself, Michael Bullock. But it's a damn shame Bullock's not here right now, because if he was, I would have told him, take a bow, my friend, because this to me was the NXT of 2024 so far.
Yes, agreed.
8 to 8.5 out of 10. The mission statement for Spring Break in 2024 was simple: complete Trick Williams' journey to the top. That absolutely landed in a fiery main event that will stand as one of NXT's best TV matches of the year. The rest of the card was solid overall, though it did feel like a more traditional episode in parts. Even if the NXT Women's Championship match, which was great, was treated as several levels below the NXT Championship bout, Roxanne Perez deserved an entrance on a night when 5 different segments focused on building the main event. The women's roster mostly carried the undercard, including a strong showcase for Sol Ruca that could be the first step in crowning her as a champion sooner rather than later. If this had been a premium live event, pay-per-view, or what have you, it may not have lived up to the billing, but as an episode of NXT, it's hard to beat this quality from opener to main event. Bullock, I wish you were here, man. MF and I would have told you to take a bow, man, because this was absolutely outstanding, and easily 8 to 8.5, and the best NXT show of 2024 when it comes to the TVs. So I'm hopeful that, I know it's going to go back to reality sooner rather than later, but at least for this 1 week, take a bow and enjoy it, drink it in, because last night was absolutely magical. Nothing more so than Trick Williams whooping that trick and becoming the NXT champion.
Yeah.
In the most electrifying atmosphere. And what a story in the world of professional wrestling right now, MF. At a time where African-American world champions were very rare, very scarce, we now have 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was few and far in between back then. In professional wrestling, there wasn't really that many champions or many in that level. And now look
3.
look what has happened.
Moose.
I mean, you got
Moose
the
TNA.
NXT North American, you got NXT North American champion in Obafemi. You got the NXT champion in Trick Williams. And yes, we're going to mention it in just a matter of minutes. AEW World Champion in Swerve Strickland. Yeah,
and don't forget the TNA Heavyweight Champion Moose.
And you got TNA Heavyweight Champion Moose.
Three World Heavyweight Champions that are of African American descent. What a great story.
That is, and I gotta say it, it's a testament to the times that we're living in. Yes, I know there is a lot of division. There's a lot of things that are different. But sometimes in this world, maybe difference needs to happen. Not get stuck in the status quo. I believe what we're witnessing now is an evolution of great talent that, I gotta say it gives hope to guys that are not traditionally Caucasian, that if you are an African American, if you're a Latino, if you're an Asian, if you're outside of the US, it got to give you hope now that, hey, look at these men, look at what they're doing. I could be one of them someday. And that's a great testament and really kind of a you want to talk about planting the flag type moment. This is it. So, all right. With that said,
8.5, and I'll sum it up by saying this: what a month so far here in the month of April 2024. Swerve and Trick, the most electrifying moments, while Cody definitely the most emotional. So
yes,
and as great as the moments were for Swerve and for Trick, right now I still have to slightly give the edge to Cody finishing the story at Mania for moment of the year thus far. Although these other two are very
these will
worthy
go
finish.
up there, and there's gonna be some argument that maybe that these two deserve that. But I'm with you, Anthony. This is, if you're talking about moment of the year,
It's still Cody.
It has to be the American Nightmare. It has to be the American Nightmare. I just don't see any other story that would top it. I'm sorry, I don't. So I get it. I understand it. I think a lot of people, I would not argue with these fans about it, but like I said, I'm just entitling my own opinion here. If you want me to, if you're gonna put what they quote, the quote unquote, if you're gonna put the proverbial gun to my head and tell me what's my moment of the year, Cody Rhodes winning the world title at WrestleMania.
Agreed.
Becoming the WWE champion, finishing the story. That's the moment of the year. That's
Amen.
the feel-good story of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And that one surpasses anything that wrestling has done up to this point this year. Just my thoughts alone. So with that said, we move on to the next part of the event, which is, let's get into Dynamite. And we started it off with the aforementioned, the new AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland going up against Kyle Fletcher in an eliminator match. And it was Swerve Strickland winning the match in 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Good first match, good opener. Obviously, the fans were definitely on the side of, and I was very impressed with the victory. So this is about a 3.5-star bout. Very, very, very good matchup. Great battle. The body of work was amazing, man. And I don't think there was anything bad that you can say about that. Anthony Florio, it is yours. Swerve Strickland, you want to talk about starting out red hot. This is exactly how he started it. Red hot, amazing. Really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
And what was that time again?
I had 14:40.
That's about 3.5 to 3 3/4 in my eyes. This was a relatively paint by numbers bout. They kept a steady pace, taunted each other a lot, played to the crowd, and hit some signature moves. Everything we saw looked good, but there was no sense of urgency. Strickland looked like he may have hurt his ankle during a swerve stomp, so Kyle Fletcher began focusing on it with an ankle lock. They picked up the pace as Swerve hit a sequence of moves to set them up for the finale. Feeding a mid-card champ to a world champion is never ideal, but the match itself was entertaining. Strickland got the win, and Prince Nana danced his ass off as he celebrated, and rightfully so. 3.5 to 3 3/4 star. And next week on Dynamite MF, we are going to find out who will be Swerve's first challenger for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship for Double or Nothing. Going to be very interesting to see who Tony Khan and everybody decide to give the honor to. So we'll find out next week. So 3.5, 3 3/4. So with that said, MF, let's move on to the next match.
All right. With that said, it was Mina Sakura versus Anna Jay, and it was Mina winning the match in 8 minutes and 55 seconds. So Florio, what's yours?
It's Mina Shirakawa, and they kept a brisk pace as the Stardom visitor began focusing on Anna's knee. Worked through a commercial break and traded control a few times to keep the bout competitive. While we saw some good stuff here, we also saw how a lack of experience working together can make it tough to find chemistry with new opponents. To their credit, they seemed to get more comfortable as time went on. Both competitors tried to win by submission a few times before Shirakawa was able to get the 3 count with a nice pinning combination. Anna Jay attacked Mariah May after the match until the women's champion Toni Storm made the save. But then Serena Deeb came out and seemed to call her shot as the next challenger. Serena Deeb and Toni Storm for the women's championship? Yeah, sign me up, please. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
We know how much you love her. We know how much you love Serena Deeb.
Even when they shaved her head bald as part of the straight edge society.
Yeah. I remember that.
I mean, one of the few who could pull the shaved head look. But then when she grew the hair back, I'm like, okay, we're talking. But it's not just the beauty, okay? It's not just her beauty that I love about her. It's her natural technical wrestling ability.
Which she
And
definitely has. I mean, she's probably hands down one of the best professional wrestlers. You could say she is one of the most underrated professional wrestlers in the world today, because
I know
a
that's
lot
right.
of people don't really know how amazing she is unless you were watching her body of work in NWA, especially after her run as the women's champion. She was kind of forgotten for a little while, to be real honest.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, I mean, will they do it at Double or Nothing? I mean, I would love to see it. I mean, I would love to see Serena get a pay-per-view payday. Absolutely. Could be on a Dynamite, could be on a Collision. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and find out. But if Serena Deeb is the next challenger, I'm all in. So that's all I'm saying. So and if anybody deserves to be the women's champion, deserves a run as a women's champion down the road, it is Serena Deeb. And you want to talk about someone who has been through everything. She's paid her dues. She has done everything that has been asked of her in this business. And I would love to see her get at least one run as the AEW Women's Champion, even if it does come at the expense of, without question, the most over woman in the division right now, that being Toni Storm. So, but anyways, this was about 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. I mean, nothing left for me to say except I know our good friend Ryan Abedizian is not happy with the outcome, because we all know he is a massive Anna Jay fan, and
Yep.
and I know seeing her lose again, that I'm sure it pissed him off a lot. So
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised if he went on social media and absolutely blasted it, but it is what it is. So
Yeah.
2.5, 2 3/4, solid match here. I'm kind of not surprised with the outcome. I had a feeling that Shirakawa was going to win this match. And like I said, Serena Deeb, Toni Storm, MF, nothing left for me to say except sign me up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This was pretty good. There's really nothing more to say. So yeah, it was a good matchup. No doubt about it. We're gonna have to wait and see what Serena does, and if she's gonna, when she gets her opportunity. But Mina versus Anna, yeah, this was about 2.5 stars. I'll give you that. Then we had a whole bunch of promo stuff after that. Next up, we had the next actual match we had was the Casino Gauntlet match for a shot at the International Championship. The winner of the match in 18 minutes and 45 seconds, Will Ospreay, will get the opportunity at Double or Nothing. Boys, we got to sell the next champion. No doubt in my mind, Will Ospreay will become the international champion at Double or Nothing in Vegas. This was a very good matchup. I kind of feel like it could have been a little more better, but it was still great for what it was worth. This was about a 3.5 to 4-star bout. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
We're talking about the gauntlet, right?
Yep.
And what's the time of the fall?
18:45.
I got to say, by default, fight of the night. I got to give this about 4.25, teetering on 4.5. I mean, all right. It was basically a one-fall bout with people coming out at intervals like the Royal Rumble until someone got a win. The order of entrance was Jay White, Dante Martin, Penta El Ziedo Miedo, Kyle O'Reilly, Will Ospreay, Lance Archer, Commander, and Jay Lethal. Ospreay able to secure the win by pinning Commander. It was an unannounced match with rules the announcers needed to explain more than once, but it gave us a lot of great wrestlers, all hitting some of their biggest spots, so it was an enjoyable bit of chaos. The Undisputed Kingdom came out so Roderick Strong could have a standoff with the Aerial Assassin. Double or Nothing it will indeed be Roderick Strong defending the international championship against Will Ospreay. MF, I'm going to make a not so bold prediction. May 26th, new champion coming.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's really nothing more to add there. Next up we did have was Jon Moxley putting the IWGP World Title on the line against Powerhouse Hobbs. Jon Moxley winning the match in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
3 stars. Unfortunately, it felt like the match was just hitting its stride when it ended, with Mox choking out Will Hobbs with the Bulldog choke. Konosuke Takeshita appeared on the stage and motioned at Mox to set up the next possible title defense for the new champion. So they did a good job making this feel like an even fight. The champ had the experience advantage, but Hobbs had size and power on his side. But like I said, when the match ended, it felt like the match was just getting good. And it looks like Takeshita will be the next challenger. So so a solid 3, teetering on 3 1/4 for this. Absolutely no surprise with the outcome. Y'all knew Moxley was going to win it. Considering I do believe this was his first title defense since beating a guy that I know good old MF Michael Fletcher has on his Mount Rushmore of New Japan Pro Wrestling, that being Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah.
So, and MF, you know Naito way more than I do, and Bullet combined. So that's a very big deal what Jon Moxley did as part of that. I believe it was in Chicago, Windy City Riot. So,
Yes.
Okay, so but another accolade for my guy Moxley, and I'm happy with the outcome. And him and Takeshita, again, I say, sign me up. That's going to be a banger. You know it will.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Sign you up. It definitely will be a banger. It was very good. Nothing more to say there. Then we ended it with a promo segment. Jack Perry came out. Basically, Tony Khan was there. Jack Perry apologized for his actions. Then he basically, there was a feel good moment. They shook hands. They hugged. They, they were, raised a hand. And then Jack Perry hits Tony Khan in the gut. So now you got, Matthew Jackson, Nicholas Jackson, and Okada come out, and they're like, wait, whoa, no. Let's, they help Tony Khan up, and then Okada basically called, and Matthew and Nicholas hits the Meltzer driver on Tony Khan. Are you flipping kidding me? Matthew and Nicholas, you're the freaking EVPs of AEW, and you just talk out the head honcho? And then what makes this even worse, is then group of wrestlers came out to check on Tony Khan. Guess who showed up?
Daddy.
Shao Kahn, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the owner of AEW. He's the one that facilitates the money. He's the one that gave the money to Tony to buy the company and for his son to run it. He doesn't do the day-to-day business because he worries about the NFL. He worries about the draft because his daddy is getting ready for the NFL draft. Oh, by the way, which starts tomorrow.
In Detroit.
And daddy had to come out because his son just got beaten up, got Meltzer drivered by 2 worthless sons of bitches. Oh my God, if I could use the words right now and what I'm thinking, this absolutely made me sick to my stomach. Beyond sick. And thank God it's a PG show, and I apologize for my language, but this needs to be called out. Without a shadow of a doubt. Tony this just turned into a war. You want to talk about a civil war with the bloodline in WWE? We now have a civil war in AEW. We got a civil war, Florio. The EVPs just went rogue on their boss. How on God's name do you? What is the explanation for what happened? What type of excuse can you come up with?
I can't.
That you absolutely physically assault your boss.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there is no repercussions that is even fitting for what is about to happen to the Young Bucks. There is no explanation for this. I'll tell you one thing. If I ever did that to my boss, I'm out. They would fire my butt and press charges on me in a heartbeat.
Damn right they would.
In Anthony Florio, if you ever pull a stunt like that at your job, we know anybody. If they ever lay their hands on a boss or of an upper management, their butts are fired. And as a matter of fact, they probably would be arrested for assault and battery right now.
Not in wrestling, they're not. But
there's going to be there has to be major repercussions for this. There's no way you allow the Young Bucks to get away with that. No way.
I'm just going to sum it up by saying this was an unexpected turn of events, but it will certainly get people talking, and it will be very interesting to see how this plays out. So I'm just going to, choose my words carefully, because the last thing I want is to have MF, rip my head off and come after me, guns blazing, with the tiki. I don't want to have MF come over to my house with the tiki torches and the pitchforks. I don't want that. So I'm just going to choose my words carefully. I'm going to mind my P's and Q's, as you would say, MF. And yeah, absolutely disgusting. I mean, what can you say? I mean, say what you want about Tony Khan. I mean, I know Tony Khan has some haters out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I will definitely say there's no doubt that there's a lot of people that will not be there, that there's going to be some sick people out there that's probably going to say that Tony Khan got exactly what he deserved. And then you can give credit to Tony Khan for selling that beatdown. But there's going to be some people that are going to be like, wait a minute, no, you don't go there.
I know.
But then again, we've seen this in wrestling where higher authority figures have been assaulted by their wrestlers. Vince McMahon. Many times. I know I'm not allowed to say his name. I don't give a damn. But
one time.
Austin?
Eric Bischoff?
Hell,
Dixie Carter even.
Yeah, Dixie got roughed up a couple of times.
Team 3D. Bubba.
Yeah. So
they put it through a table, for goodness sakes.
So I get it.
Stephanie even.
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon. You remember?
So
she got. There were times which they roughed her up.
So. Yeah. So this is insane that this happened. My jaw hit the floor because it wasn't that. Now the Jack Perry thing, I was like, all right, that seemed tamed. That seemed within the rules. I was like, all right, he's probably a little pissed off. I get it. That makes sense. He probably wanted revenge for being, for you guys screwing him over, thinking he was responsible, because it fitted the storyline. It fitted the narrative. What on earth did the Young Bucks, what is their reasoning for doing that to Tony Khan? Now, if they turn around and they're like, oh, we didn't want to show the CM Punk footage, and you made us do it, okay, maybe you get away with it, but to drop the Meltzer driver on him?
That was a super Meltzer driver. That was more than anything else. That was not a regular one.
That was not a regular.
They went all in on that.
So
I
that's
don't
gonna
know.
be. I mean, like I
I
said,
know.
it's a PG show, and I want to hold, and I'm holding my tongue so
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
right
You
now.
wanna
I'm
you wanna go
furious.
off. You wanna go off like two guys that I'm gonna put in the text chat. You one you know who you know for you one you we know for sure, and the other, well, someone who like these two guys,
Oh yeah,
because they're the two biggest hotheads. There's no doubt about it. So, and I'm sure they're probably going to unleash hell. Well, at least the guy on the right, I'm sure. So, but we'll see. But it's a mixed bag. I mean, some people will be like MF and be unhappy about it, while there will be some others that are actually like, good, he got what he deserved. And
and I know there will be some who will agree. There are going to be some that felt
after all
like,
that BS he pulled after the BS he
and
pulled a
and
couple
I
weeks
think
ago,
that's what it is. I think he
sour
knew,
grapes.
and I know, and I think he knew that there was a lot of people angry at him, and maybe that's why he's like, you know what? Okay, let's do this. But the thing is, they brought out Daddy, and you know that's about not now.
This is
Now
about to
it's
pick
a
up.
war.
This is
It's
about to pick
war
up.
now. It got personal.
Business is
You
picking up.
injured his son. Oh no! You brought Shao Kahn out. That means it's yeah. It's serious now. That
So,
EVP titles are about to go bye bye for the Young Bucks. They're about to lose their EVP status.
well,
I'm
I
almost
don't know what
sure
else.
they're going to get. I'm almost certain that the EVP status for the Young Bucks is gone. They have to be gone. There's no way you can justify their actions.
No, and the same for Jack Perry too. But it was more the Young Bucks. So
No,
let
Young with Perry, you could fine him. You could fine him. You can say, all right, you overstepped by assaulting him. Fine. But what the Young Bucks did, and especially under their EVP status, that's
yeah,
above and beyond. Like what they did is absolutely there's no it's there's no
no,
it's reprehensible.
it
What
is
they did was even worse than what Perry did. What Perry did was bad. What they did under their stature, under what their jurisdiction, what they had as part of AEW, no. They're 10 times worse what they did.
exactly.
So,
So we're just gonna leave it at that. So let me get into the overall status here.
yeah, go ahead.
Overall review. Um, I got to give this somewhere between 7 and 7.5. Dynamite ended with Jack Perry asking Tony Khan to come to the ring so they could handle business. TK came out and listened to Perry talk about wanting what is best for AEW. Perry asked to be reinstated, and Tony shook his hand. Perry hugged him and gave an evil smile before jamming the mic into Tony's gut. The Young Bucks came out and joined in by hitting one of the signature moves on him. This was an unexpected turn of events, but it will certainly get people talking. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. As intriguing as this ending may be, it was also kind of a strange way to end what was already a very odd show. Not only did it feel somewhat thrown together, but the constant audio issues made it almost unwatchable at times. The wrestlers all did a good job, but a lot of what we got tonight did not feel like an appropriate follow-up to what we saw this past Sunday at Dynasty. So it's a 7 to 7.5. Nothing left for me to say. MF, take it home on this and then get into the rules of the draft.
All right. Yeah, it's a 7 out of 10. This is exactly what we were talking about. There's really nothing more for us to add here, so we're just going to go right on in. As you guys know, this Friday night is the start of the WWE draft. And what they have announced is these are the rules for the WWE draft. So with that said, here are the rules for the WWE draft. And they go as follow. So there will be 4 rounds where SmackDown gets to pick. They'll have 16 total picks done on their behalf. On Raw, there'll be 6 rounds for them. They'll have 24 total picks in the WWE draft. Now, this is very important. So listen up, folks. Champions on each brand are protected, which means that Damian Priest and Becky Lynch and Awesome Truth are now designated for Monday Night Raw. They cannot.
Don't forget Sammy.
And Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental Champion. They cannot be drafted. They are locked to Monday Night Raw. They will not be allowed to move. Vice versa. Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, the tag team champions, which is A-Town Down Under, and Bayley, they are locked to SmackDown Live. They cannot be drafted. They will not move. They are protected. They will not be allowed to jump from one to the other. They are locked in. They stay where they are. However, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions are eligible to be drafted, which means the Kabuki Warriors, because they are the current champions, they could go to Raw or SmackDown. They are eligible. They are up for grabs. SmackDown Live will have the first pick this Friday night, and vice versa. Monday Night Raw will have the first pick on Monday night. So SmackDown will start the draft. They will be on the clock first on Friday, meaning we get the pick of the litter at the very beginning. However, Monday Night Raw will have the pick of the litter at the beginning of their draft when it comes down on Monday. And more importantly, NXT talent can get drafted on either night. They will be available just as much as Raw guys are, SmackDown guys are, and there will be, and all NXT talent are all eligible to be drafted on both nights. So, how's that going to happen? Basically, NXT during the live broadcast, Raw and SmackDown will get to make their picks, and if they do grab somebody from NXT, they will get that moment. But for all you NXT fans, NXT will have an opportunity to draft somebody from Raw and somebody from SmackDown in a supplemental draft that will be offline, not live on TV, but will be done on WWE social media. They will have that done at some point. We don't know when, but that will be done. Rosters will be locked in place officially on Monday, May 6th. That's it, folks. That's everything you need to know about the WWE draft. All right. So with that said, we're done. We're out of here. Tomorrow night, 10:30, hosted by Anthony Florio, we will have a special edition of TXN Sports World. Florio, why don't you hit us?
Well, it's basically what we did on Sunday night. Am I correct on that?
You are correct, sir.
Yeah. So we will start it off with the Ranger Roundup. We will recap Game 2 of the New York Rangers series against the Washington Capitals, and then we'll follow it up with we also have Game 2 of the we're going to start it off with the Bruins beat, we're going to do games 2 and 3 of the Bruins beat. The Boston Bruins against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then we'll get into the Rangers roundup, where we'll recap game 2 of the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. And then in the main event, it will be the Celtics chat, as we will recap game 2 between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And that's basically it. So that's what we're going to do. It'll be the Bruins beat, the Ranger roundup, the Celtics chat. That's all going down tomorrow night, 10:30 on the Tone 25. And just like we did it on Sunday night, MF will take the hockey reins and I'll take the basketball reins. So there isn't much more for me to say except MF, hit him with the rest of the future content, including a special Friday night edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk.
Yes, it is. It's going to be Friday night live, as we're going to be recapping the first night of the WWE draft. And then on so it will just be the draft only. And that will be at 10 p.m. Eastern as the show goes off the air. So with that said, that is it. And until then, for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. Be a friend, tell a friend, say something nice. You can actually change their life. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And until then, for all of us here, let me go old school. Hugs and hand pounds. And we are out.
Goodbye.